What's your earliest memory is a question that you'd probably hear across the years, probably during a job interview or a date or something that you'd even ask yourself. The answers are endless depending on your past. It could be getting a toy, drawing an awesome family portrait, or even a Christmas morning. But if I had to answer this question, however, I'd have to say that my earliest memory was being called a fat, ugly Asian. I was around 3.5 at the time, and I was in Seafield Preschool in Portchester, England. I was basically the only person of color in the whole school, and I remember my classmates telling me that my eyes looked like piggy bank slits, and most of the teachers found it funny and said that it was true. And well, I believed it. In all honesty, it's hard for Asian Americans to fit in, especially when it comes to beauty and appearance. They have to fit in two spectrums, the East and the West. Both have their own standards, and when they're put side by side, they're sometimes contradictory and almost always unhealthy in the way that it'll give adolescents unrealistic expectations of beauty in themselves. It's hard to look gentle and demure, but at the same time be balanced with being sexy and muscular. It's just really hard but empowering at the same time to think that it's actually possible to be both strong and feminine. It's possible for you to be a warrior and to be also cute, or whatever you'd like to define your physical appearance as. But if you apply the idea of being both fierce and gentle, or beautiful and strong, it's considered something that is unique. And I always wondered why it's considered unique. Shouldn't it be something that comes natural for everyone? Isn't everyone strong and beautiful? But sadly enough, that really isn't the case because self-esteem is an issue that we all have to struggle with growing up. Because if I could describe myself, this is what I looked like when I was 14. I didn't and couldn't wear makeup, I weighed around 140 pounds, I had a huge amount of pimples, and I wore really ugly, unflattering clothing. I was a -10 on the Asian American beauty scale. But if I can draw myself now, this is me. I wear clothes that I believe are fashionable. I wear a lot of makeup. I have less pimples now, and I am at 125 pounds, give or take. And if I had to be generous, I'd give myself a 3 on the Asian American beauty scale. But to be honest, I feel less confident than I was when I was 14. There was this one yik yak I saw several weeks ago, and it said, when you stare at a word for so long, it begins to not look like a word anymore, like there's something wrong with it. I think this is the same thing girls do to their bodies. And I can't agree more with this yik yak. I'm certain there's a lot of other kids out there wondering why they're having such a hard time fitting the bill. It's just really hard to accept the body that you're born in and to learn how to love yourself. One of my confessors several years ago would always tell me after confession that I should learn how to love myself. He told me that every single time, to the point where one day I got tired of it and I asked him, "Father, how can I love myself? What is love?" And he looked at me and said, "Okay, let me tell you a story. A long time ago, before Adam and Eve disobeyed God and ate the forbidden fruit, Satan and God were talking. God told the devil that he could do whatever he wanted with the two gifts of love and beauty, since they were so strong that the devil couldn't destroy it. So Satan was so happy because he thought that he could hide these gifts from humans. But then came the actual task of hiding it. Should he put it in the earth? No, the dogs would dig it up and bring it back to the humans. Should he hide it in the sky? The clouds would rain it back onto the earth. So he hatched up a plan that was both smart and not so smart. The devil placed these two gifts in the hearts of humans. This resulted in two things. It grew within, but could not easily be found. It could drive people to greatness or to madness. And I think that's why there's so many people in the world going crazy trying to perfect themselves. They don't realize that beauty isn't found on the several layers of their skin, but it's deep in their hearts. It's in them, and they've had an inherent sense of what and where it is, but it's just so difficult for them to find because when they were looking for love and beauty, those two qualities were in them all along. When I was younger, I didn't really fully appreciate what this priest told me. But now that I spend a lot of time wondering how I can look like someone in a magazine and planning out my meals so I don't gain weight, I realized how relevant and necessary it was for me to hear this. Just like myself, there are a lot of girls and boys struggling with finding peace and accepting themselves because of the high standards made by the East and the West. And I think it's also because beauty is something they've been conditioned to see as something they need to strive for, not something that has already been part of them ever since. I can't tell you what it means to love yourself or to find peace every time you look in the mirror, because I'm in the process of finding this answer as well. But there is one thing I can tell you. Your beauty and value as a human being does not decrease based on someone's inability to see it, or how you may not fit into the sad society standards of beauty. Your beauty is not based on how small or large your eyes are, or the accent you have, or a grade you have on a test you studied so hard for. It's not based on how some ignorant people may call you uncomfortable things when you walk down the street. Beauty is not a stereotype or a mold you need to fit in. It's about being able to appreciate the little things about yourself and to keep your chin up, regardless of how people may call you names or how you may think your flaws make you less worthy of anything. Beauty is about not giving up on yourself no matter how hard it is. Beauty is you.